Hi guys, you ever have those days where you have to be creative? Well, check it out. So, welcome to the OG YOLK Generation Next podcast. We are really excited to bring our next guest. You may know him as General Yamori from The Man in the High Castle on Amazon Prime. Or for you Mortal Kombat fans, he played the evil Shang Tsung in all 22 episodes of the Mortal Kombat Conquest series. More than likely, you probably know him from RoboCop 3 as a katana wielding android Otomo, who is sent out to kill RoboCop. Sorry about the spoiler if you haven't seen the movie. He's got a couple of movies set to launch. One is Life Cycle 63. Look out for that. And the other, he has a starring role, and it's called Side Slip. That's starring role in Side Slip. Here is Larry Tazuma's interview with Bruce Locke. Introducing Bruce Locke. And don't forget to listen to his 10 questions at the end, too. Thank you so much. And like and subscribe.
Welcome to YOLK, Rehashed. Generation Next, with Larry Tazuma and Sommer Nguyen. YOLK is back.
Welcome to the YOLK OG Generation Next podcast. I'm so happy to have Bruce Locke. He's a veteran actor of stage, screen, TV, you name it, even voiceovers. How are you doing, Bruce?
Great to be here, Larry. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us here on the OG Generation Next podcast. You and I go way back.
Yeah, many years.
You're like one of the first actors I met when I first moved to Los Angeles. And I met you through some mutual friends. I can name them, Angie and Vivian. And
yes, I still keep in touch with them.
yes, unfortunately, I haven't really.
Oh.
They're gonna hit me for that.
Terrible.
I'm so terrible.
You're from Seattle. I'm from Portland.
That's right. People told me that when you move to Los Angeles and you're from the Pacific Northwest, let it be known. Has that worked out for you?
No. Even people from Portland, I noticed that there is no kinship. They just go, great. And then you're like, what high school did you go to? And so maybe for other people that works, not for me.
You went to Cleveland High School, and yeah. I went to Cleveland High School.
Different cities.
I actually played at your high school when I was with the Seattle Chinese Athletic Association. We used to play.
Yeah, and I played for the Chinese Association in Portland against you guys. I'm a little older than you, but it was the CACA, Chinese American Citizens Alliance, against the Seattle SCAA.
Yeah. That was fun. I had a blast. We used to stay at the hotel down there. I don't know. And we would just hang out and just cause havoc, man. It was great.
Oh, yeah, because you see, we have a smaller population than you, so you guys are the big city.
Right.
And you had all the cool kids that knew what music was in and all the pretty girls.
Right.
And our community was so small, so whenever we interfaced with you guys, it was like, you're the big city guys with the pretty girls. And
we thought your girls were pretty.
We had like 4 girls.
No, there was like at least a couple of girls we said, oh, she's hot.
Okay, we'll talk about who after this podcast.
All right. But anyway, yeah, so there's this little connection. We both went to Cleveland High School, but in different cities. So there's also another connection. You would also MC the Greater Seattle Chinese Chamber of Commerce Scholarship Pageant, right?
Yeah, I've done it, 12 to 15 times over many years. The director of the pageant was a past Miss Chinatown winner who grew up in Portland.
Oh, wow.
And she's my sister's year. And the brothers and sisters are, our brothers and sisters' year. So our parents kind of grew up together. And she moved, Suanna Wong Chen. She moved to Seattle, ended up taking over that. And then as we all become adults, we all pull upon each other to help out with community events. And she called me one day out of the blue and said, I need you to MC this. And I was like, I hate doing stuff like that, because when everyone's not a professional, they don't do it for a living, there's a lot of hiccups.
Okay.
And so I said, I'll do it. And one thing turned into another. And years later, I kept doing it. And
they must treat you well because one time I was a substitute escort.
Yeah.
They gave me a nice tuxedo to
Yeah.
wear. They fed me really well. They said, "Hey, go enjoy yourself at the buffet." I was like, "Whoa,
Wait, you got a buffet?"
Yeah, I got a buffet. I had this nice, maybe it was dessert buffet. I don't know what, but I was like, wow, these guys, they treat you well. I mean, they take care of you. I remember what Yuji.
I've hosted with Yuji Okamoto from the Karate Kid.
Right.
He lives up there, married one of the past contestants.
Right.
And we've hosted it several times together.
I mean, he got married because of that.
Because of me.
Because of
me. So, okay, here's a great story. I mean, this is going to turn into a 4-hour podcast.
Sure.
I was supposed to host the Miss Chinese Seattle pageant one year, and I got a job. And Yuji and I have this friendship where I will volunteer him for stuff, or if I need him, I'll say, Yuji, you need to show up here to help me raise money.
Wow.
And he will call me. Well, it was my turn to call him. I said, Yuji, I got a job. He said, congratulations. I said, you have to host the Miss Chinese Seattle pageant. The girl that they assigned to be his chaperone, host, driver, Angie, he ended up marrying.
That's amazing. So they must have hooked you up with stuff like that too, right?
No.
Pretty girls.
No, because I'm from the Northwest, they assume that, see, I didn't even get the buffet.
Oh, no.
They assume that I kind of know my way around, even though I'm from 180 miles south of that. So I don't get the chaperone drivers hosts.
I would assume they had all kinds of anyway, you would have had all kinds of perks. Okay.
Anyway, right before that, Yuji professed his bachelorhood for life, badge. I'm not going to get married ever again.
Yeah.
And then he didn't come back from Seattle. He said, what happened? He said, I'm getting married. Now 3 daughters later.
Yeah, 3 daughters later. Yeah. And he's got a couple of restaurants out there now. So that's amazing. You were a tennis player in college.
Right.
You were nationally ranked.
Right.
You double majored in what?
Math and economics.
That's amazing. You were just talking to my wife because my wife majored in applied math. So you guys are talking shop.
I think her degree's real. Mine was, I barely made it by then.
But still, I mean, math and economics, that's not easy.
Well, I got lucky.
I don't think so. No, people don't get lucky in math and economics. You must have been pretty good in cards. You ever go to Vegas and
Yeah, I gambled a lot. I don't gamble anymore.
Okay.
When I was a teenager, I gambled a lot, and poker houses were legal in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So I would cross the border and play in the poker houses. And one of my friend's boyfriends was the house manager. He knew I wasn't old enough. And he sat down next to me and goes, hey, Bruce, you got to cash out.
Oh.
Because I used to go there on Friday nights and play poker. And I played in college and gambled in college. And then afterwards, when I became an actor, I realized how hard money is to come by. And so I said, I'm done gambling.
Yeah. Yeah, gambling is a tough thing. I mean, I do stocks and options, and it's sometimes I'm like, I should stop this.
If you have enough to get by, don't do it.
Yeah. So when did you pick up golf?
Oh, we grew up across the street from a golf course. And so I worked at a golf course when I was 9 and always played golf, always loved golf. But then when I started playing tennis, I was better than the older kids, and it just kept progressing. And I didn't play golf really much until after college.
Okay, so let's step back to tennis. You were nationally ranked. Did you ever think about going pro? Did you go
I did.
You did go pro?
For a couple of months.
Okay.
And I didn't do well. It was just too hard.
I heard this story, and I've listened to a bunch of podcasts you had. Someone took pictures of you or something like
that's
that.
how I got into showbiz. So I'm at a tournament in LA, money pro tournament, and I didn't do well. And I stormed off the court, and this little Vietnamese photographer started taking my picture. And I said, what are you doing? I said, that's the guy that won. Go take his picture. And she said, I'm going to put you in a magazine because I've never seen a 6'2" Asian guy. And I was just like, this is LA. And she goes, listen, I'm going to take you to lunch. You didn't win any money. You don't have anything to do. Let's go to lunch. And she said, I can introduce you to a modeling agent. and you can make some money on the side to pay for your tennis. And she did, and I thought it was all a scam, but it was real. And one thing led to another. I got an acting agent, got into acting class, and ended up having a career.
That's awesome.
I mean, I'm kind of truncating the story.
Yeah, no. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't just happen overnight. So
that happened overnight.
Yeah.
Where I thought, wow, this is really something out of my league.
Back then, were there a lot of Asian models on the scene?
No, there were 3 in America.
Wow.
3 guys. It was Greg Schoon from LA and Biani from San Francisco.
That's wild.
And then I came in, and yeah.
A few months ago, I actually text messaged you. I was in New York with my family, and on the wall was it Asia magazine?
Jade magazine.
Jade magazine,
which was before AGM.
Okay. And I saw you on the wall, and I was like, I got to text this to Bruce. It was you in the magazine,
right,
talking about Asian models.
Which is funny because I was literally a model for less than a couple months. I'd done a couple jobs for department stores, and my agent called and said, "Hey, this magazine wants to do an article on Asian American models." And I said, "What do I know about modeling? I've done like 3 jobs." And he goes, "Just go." And that's what led to my acting agent. Because when I got there, after we did the photo shoot and my interview, I saw all these beautiful women walk in. And I just kind of looked at them, and this older guy holding a light board said, "You want to stay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." He goes, "Well, hold the light board." So me and this guy are holding a light board on these beautiful girls, and we're kind of talking in between setups. I say, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I own the magazine." And it was Jerry Jan.
Jerry Jan, yes, I met him.
Publisher of Jade Magazine.
Yes.
And he goes, "So, tell me, I listened to your interview. You're obviously interested in acting too." I never thought of it, but I went, yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Who's your agent?" I said, "I'm working on it." And he goes, "I know, and I'll introduce you."
Wow.
And he introduced me to Guy Lee at the Bessie Lou Agency. And the Bessie Lou Agency for many years was the go-to agency for all the Asian actors.
Right.
And that led to a meeting with a Hollywood talent agent.
Okay.
And I went and met with this Guy Lee, and he said, "You don't know anything about acting."
Right.
I said, "I know nothing about acting, but I know I can do it." And that led to my first agent.
That's amazing. By the way, if you ever get to New York, you got to stop by the the Museum of Chinese in America. It's still going on. They still have that exhibit on there. You'll see yourself, and you go, "Wow, this is crazy."
Okay.
So I got to say, except for the hair,
the gray hair,
you haven't changed a bit from then.
It's getting thinner too.
Yeah. Well, tell me about it. So from when I met you to now, I hear your first job was a commercial.
Yeah. That's what got me into the union in 1986. I got started in 84, and I got into AFTRA first. AFTRA is the sister acting union.
Okay.
And they've since merged, but I got on General Hospital to see what it was like on the sets and blah, 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 see the real actors work. And then I got into the union, the SAG union, by doing a commercial.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't know what was going on. I was pretty green, but luckily I walked on the location area, had this blank look on my face, and this actress came up and said, "Are you one of the actors?" I said, "Yeah." She grabbed my hand, bless her heart, and she said, "Come with me. I'll show you what to do." She goes, "Let's check in first." So she took me to an AD. We checked in. She goes, "Okay, now Bruce is pretty new at this, so let's make it friendly for him." Like, "Okay, we're going to take you to your room, and then you're going to go to hair, makeup, and wardrobe." And then I said, "Okay." She goes, "Just stick with this girl." So this girl walked me through the whole commercial. And that paid my bills for a whole year.
Wow.
Yeah.
A whole year.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, because you probably know. I mean, coming down here, it's not cheap.
No.
That's the one thing. I also dabbled in acting. That's probably the one reason why I didn't really do acting full time, was because it was damn expensive to go full time as an actor.
It's a tough proposition to be in the show business, let's just say. And you've got to look in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. And part of the truth has to be, how am I going to make my way and define myself where people are going to want Bruce Locke or Larry Tazuma. What is it as a commodity? What type of car are we? And you got to say, I believe in it. And, it's hard.
Back then, you had to pay for headshots. You had to pay for...
Oh, yeah. Now it's digital.
Yeah.
You email it, you Photoshop it. But back then, you had to pay for a photographer. Then you had to get it processed to a proof sheet. And then you had your agent pick out a couple. Then you had to print it up, go down and have copies made. It was expensive.
Yeah. It was good, what, $500 sometimes?
Yeah, and that's a lot of money back then. It's a lot of money now.
Yeah. And rent, I mean, it wasn't cheap either. So driving a car, you had your Thomas guide.
Thomas guides are the maps. We didn't have any apps, no cell phones. And you had, there was no email, so you had to drive to everything. If you had an audition, you had to drive across town to pick up the script. And I got busted a few times for not picking up the script, where they would fax you the 3 or 4 pages they call them sides. And after so many years, you have these procedural cop shows, you know what happens.
Yeah.
So I get to the interview, give a good audition, and then it's real quiet, and they go, you didn't pick up the script.
Wait a minute. So you actually had to go to the agency to pick up the script?
Not sometimes the agency, the casting director place.
Okay.
If you're big, they deliver them to you.
Wow.
But so they busted me at the interview and said, you didn't read the script. And I told them what happened. I said, never watched your show. Let me tell you what happens. I go, tell me I'm wrong. And they all looked at me like, no, you're not wrong. I said, your writing is like every other cop show. Needless to say, I didn't get the job.
Oh, wow.
My agent called me and said, don't do that anymore.
So, first breakthrough role was RoboCop 3.
Yeah.
Otomo.
Right. He was the villain to RoboCop.
Yeah. You worked a long time on that movie.
Almost a year. Yeah.
That's amazing. People don't work that long on a movie anymore. It's usually like, what, 5 weeks or something?
Well, it depends on the budget, and it depends on the size of your role.
Yeah.
There are big budget movies where you're on there a year.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I mean, guys at my level, I'm the journeyman actor. We come in and out a couple weeks to a couple months.
Yeah.
And you're done.
That should have been your star turning role. That should have been the one that put you on the map, and should have been the one that...
It sort of did, and it sort of didn't. I got a lot of offers to do the lower budget action movies, and I really kind of resisted that. The Canon Pictures. Actually, I got a production deal with Canon Pictures. Those are the guys that got Chuck Norris and Van Damme, and those guys started. And so I didn't want to do any of their stuff, and so I wrote a screenplay. And they wanted to sign me a 3-picture deal based on that. So we did it. And I think Chris Pierce was the head of Canon at the time. And he passed away.
Oh, wow.
So that deal and then Canon went under. So that was kind of what you're talking about is fate. It did kind of put me on the map, and then other companies wanted me to do lower budget action movies. I didn't want to go that route. And my dad said, hey, acting is acting.
Yeah.
Come on. And I said, no, it isn't. I said, I don't want to. And then I had to slug it out in the television and film world, trying to get roles that involved talking.
Yeah.
And it was a weird time. It was tough. I think Russell Wong and Jason Scott Lee were about the only guys from my group that were able to break out and continue moving on. Even Jason didn't want to do action.
Yeah, there was a lot of things. I know that a lot of those actors were turning down stuff left and right because it was not good stuff.
Right, but even the good action stuff, Jason didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then Russell did his series, so that took him off the market for a while.
Okay, was it Vanishing Sun?
Vanishing Sun.
Right.
So my question for Russell would be, like what Daniel did, is use that as a platform. Did Russell try to do that at the time? And given the atmosphere is quite different from Vanishing Sun to Hawaii Five-0, I've never quite had that platform, but I always wondered. I wanted to ask Jason and Russell, and I don't know them that well. Like, what was that going through their mind at the time? Because I tried to do that at every level of my career.
you actually did 22 episodes of Mortal Kombat Conquest.
Right. And then you would think again, well, what did that do for your career? And again, it was, do you want to do more action stuff? And at the time, I'm like, yeah, I probably would. But I think people had a misconception of what I really am. Like, for instance, American Gladiator wanted me to come on. And I'm like, no, I'd get killed. I said, I weigh 180 pounds. And then we were on a couple of networks. It was syndicated. And one of them was either before or right after wrestling. And so they said, would you do some promos?
Oh, wow.
And I did a couple promos that were really popular. I just kind of made some stuff up and kind of got in the camera's face, you know.
Wow.
And they thought, how great would it be if you wrestled?
Oh, my God.
And so they invited me to guest wrestle. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. And I said, no. I said, I weigh 180 pounds. These guys are like 240, 260.
Yeah.
They would kill me. And they said, no, you look like you're 220. And I said, no.
That's a big audience there.
Huge audience.
Right.
So, and what was funny was they said, would you shoot a couple promos? This is how it all started. We're on the set and the camera crew comes in. I don't know who they are. And they go, hey, would you shoot a promo for wrestling? I said, yeah, sure. What do you want me to do? And they said, just introduce it.
Yeah.
So I said, after Mortal Kombat, watch wrestling,
Yeah.
They said, if you want to do anything else, I said, I got an idea. So they said, okay. I said, just turn the camera on. They turned the camera on. I turned into Shang Tsung. I said, this is Shang Tsung. And I took the chair and I threw it across. I said, if you don't want me to steal your soul, then you better watch wrestling right after Mortal Kombat. I'm coming for you. And so they're like, oh my God. And so we did a bunch of those and they aired them.
Oh,
and it became really popular.
That's cool. So when you were doing Shang Tsung, when you were doing Mortal Kombat, now I heard and I read that you were having the time of your life. You were playing golf.
Oh yeah.
You were getting paid.
Yeah.
You were working out. You were meeting some pretty ladies.
Yeah.
Right?
All of the above. Yeah.
You were living on the set, right? The Disney set?
The Disney set was, in Orlando, Florida, we rented out the sound stages that belonged to the Disney park. So it was right up against the park. So we had access to the park too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
And that was what, a whole year, a couple of years?
It was between 1999 and 2000.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That seems like a good time.
And so I was the bad guy, Paolo Montalban, who was the lead good guy.
Yeah.
You guys would know him from Disney's Cinderella. He played the prince.
Yeah.
He was our social director. So we had a policy that all of the guest starlets, even the guest stars, we would invite them to dinner on Fridays.
Yeah.
And make sure that they had a good time on our show.
Yeah.
So, oh my God. So Paolo's apartment was social party central. And we would just meet up there and invite all the guest stars and have dinners and parties. And it was the most amazing thing. I mean, Ava Mendez was there. She was on the show.
Wow.
And Renee Tennyson, who was Playmate of the Year. Jamie Presley, who blew up right after that. And Jamie was on several episodes. So we used to hang out at the pool. It was just a great time. Yeah.
So I know that you studied martial arts with, is it Bill Rusaki? Okay. Now he passed away in, was it 2016 or something?
Somewhere around there.
Something like that. And he was a master. He was like the pioneer of Kempo along with Ed Parker.
Ed Parker was the pioneer, and then he was one of the second, not generation, he was a contemporary of Ed.
Okay.
But Bill was also very much renowned in our business of teaching many, many actors.
And he was in RoboCop too.
Yeah, he was the little kid's bodyguard.
Okay.
And he was tasked to make me look like I could be a martial artist in the third one, and I didn't have any experience. So he trained me, or the production trained me for 3.5 months.
That's great.
So I was on their payroll for 3.5 months just taking karate lessons.
That
was the
amazing.
best.
That's amazing. How are you as a student of karate or martial arts?
I don't think you should ask me. You should ask others. I think I was a good student.
Okay.
I'm pretty athletic and I'm very respectful. I know I've been in enough dojos to understand the etiquette. And the first day I was supposed to meet Master Ryosaki, I was supposed to meet him at his dojo, and I showed up like 10 minutes early, and I waited outside the door. And I knew he was inside, and he kind of yelled, "Who's out there?" And I said, "It's Bruce Locke, here to meet Master Ryosaki." And he knew I didn't have any experience. So he said, "Come in." So I walked in, took off my shoes, put them down. And they always have ancestors on the wall, the pictures.
Right.
So I turned to them, I bowed 3 times out of respect, and I bowed to him, and I said, "Master Ryosaki, I'm Bruce Locke." And he looked at me, he was real quiet, and he said, "How did you know to take off your shoes and to bow at the ancestors?" Respect. And he kind of looked at me, he shook out his hand, put his hand out, we shook hands. He said, "Let's go to work." Didn't really say much to me. Then after that first day, he kind of smiled. He said, "I think we're going to be good friends."
Oh.
And I worked really hard. We worked 5 days a week in the beginning. And then it was just like 2 buddies getting together, and he would laugh. He goes, "Let me show you something else."
How long would your workouts be?
It depends how he felt. I mean, it would be probably 3 hours in the beginning.
Wow, 3 hours.
So in the end, as we're getting closer to production, I had to do kind of a choreographed kata.
Yeah.
And what it was he got 4 of his black belts, and we did a fight scene. And then I was supposed to do a kata with a sword. So we worked on that, and they brought in some people from the studio, the stunt coordinator, the martial arts coordinator, or no, Bill was the martial arts coordinator, the stunt coordinator, the executive producers, the writers, the director. Writer was the director. It was like these guys are sitting there, with their arms crossed, legs crossed, just saying, "Okay, impress me.
Yeah.
We know you don't know anything, so we got this big movie. Prove to us that you're the guy." So Bill, now he's in full martial arts, and he goes, "Ugh!" And so we go, and all of a sudden, me and these 4 black belts, we're just going at it, and bless their heart, boy, you throw them and they would go much further.
Yeah.
I'd hit them and they'd go flying. So we get done with that, and I go, wow, the fight went pretty well.
Yeah.
And the next thing, he was supposed to yell again and slide katana on the mat to me, and it was probably 30 feet. He was just going, shh, and you'd see it slide across the floor. And I'd do a dive roll, and I'd pick it up and it'd go into my kata. So he yells, "Ugh!" And he throws it at me in the air. We didn't talk about that. And I see it coming at me, and I grab it like boom. And I just held it, and then I went into my kata, and everybody was just shocked. It was like, he threw a sword at you, and you just caught it with one hand without even looking.
Wooden one?
No, it was a real sword.
Oh, no shit. No shit.
I mean, it wasn't a sharpened sword, but it was real.
Yeah.
And so we got through it, and what kept going through my mind was, I can't believe he threw that at me, because we were supposed to slide it. And so we get done, everybody's happy, and they're like, "You passed the test, blah, blah, blah." And now we're all alone, we're having a beer. I go, "Bill, what was that? You were supposed to slide it to me." He goes, "Yeah, I know, but wasn't it much cooler when I threw it at you?" I go, "Yeah, but you were supposed to slide it at me." He goes, "Last second I thought it would look cool if I threw it at you."
Wow.
He goes, "I knew you'd catch it." And I'm like, oh man.
I find that I studied some martial arts, Jeet-Kune-Do with Jason's teacher, Jared Petit, and I found that when I was in it, there was some things that you just can't explain. You can do things that you can't explain. For instance, I was in Jimmy's backyard, just practicing.
Actor friend of ours,
Jimmy T, and I was playing with some Kali sticks, Eskrima sticks. And after I was done, I stopped and I looked up, like 3 stories up. There was a Saudi Arabian embassy behind Jimmy's
in West LA.
Yeah. And I happened to see this guy looking out from the top of the building, from the roof. And it was a guy looking down at me. And he looked back, but then he knew it. I caught him. And he waved. And I was, how do you get that? When you're in the moment, when you're in this thing, you get like these spidey senses, right?
Yeah.
So Bill, He must have known you were going to catch it.
You know, he put me to the task many times, and it always happened. And he always said, "I knew you would catch it." But I don't know if he really believed it. I mean, I don't know. I always did.
He wouldn't want you to look bad because that'll make him look bad.
That's true. You know, to this day, I wish I could ask him, "Did you really know I could do that?"
I have a feeling he knew you.
Because he had me do a flip on the set,
Yeah.
and I did it, and then they went ballistic. They said, "Oh, you can't do that. We have to have the stunt guy insurance." And Bill said, "I knew you could do that." But that happens.
Yeah,
that happens. The teacher sometimes knows your limitations.
Yeah. It's amazing. That's an amazing story. So you not only did you work with Bill Rusaki, you worked with Rip Torn.
Oh yeah,
which I got to ask you about this story because I heard it was an amazing story. You had this crazy confrontational scene with Rip Torn. You got to tell me this story.
Well, for those of you that don't know Rip, he's a really big energy actor. He was, I think he was the producer on the, what was that comedy?
Was it one of those daytime shows?
No, it was. Anyway, Rip is a very famous American actor. Did a lot of westerns.
You got to look him up on IMDb or something.
Yeah,
because he's one of those old timey guys.
Very well respected. So he's kind of chewing up the scenery, and the director and everybody were kind of afraid of him because he's like, "Put the camera there." And he goes, "This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to change this line. And I don't really have much to do other than I meet him, and then I'm tasked with, you're going to go kill RoboCop, and he's telling me about, and I'm not paying any attention to him. He's getting kind of pissed because he's like, I'm effing talking here,
Yeah.
So you look at me when I'm not. And within the context of the scene, I'm not looking. I don't give a rip, right? So he's getting more and more angry, which is, I think, hey, that's kind of making it more dramatic for the scene that he is the CEO and me as the hired killer. I'm going to do what I want, even though he's. So we take a break, and everybody disappears to either go to the craft services, get some food. He storms off to his trailer, and I think, I better go talk to this guy because we're going to be together for a while. I don't want any hard feelings. So I knock on Rip's trailer, and he yells, "Who is it?" And I said, Bruce Locke, sir. And he rips open the door, and he looks at me. And I don't know if he's going to punch me, slap me, or yell at me. And he kind of looks at me real intensely. He gets close to me, and now I'm ready. I'm like, I'm just going to let him hit me.
Yeah.
He grabs me and hugs me, and he goes, "I love actors that push back." He goes, "You're doing what you want in the scene, and it's making me pissed, and I love it." And we became friends.
Oh, cool.
We became friends. And after that, we would have dinner together. I had access to a great kitchen in our editing. We took over the penthouse suite in the hotel.
Okay.
And they said, "The kitchen is yours."
Wow.
So I would cook dinner for Rip, and we'd sit there and overlook Atlanta at night and just talk about shop.
Are you a cook? Are you a good cook?
Yeah.
Okay.
I helped Yuji open his restaurant.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Well, shoot. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. You learn all kinds of things from people you've known for many, many years. Let's talk about Man in the High Castle. You did 7 episodes. This is on Amazon Prime. I was very interested in Man in the High Castle because it is a very famous story, sci-fi story about Japan and Germany winning the war, World War II.
It's a what-if scenario of if the U.S. had lost World War II and Japan and Germany took over the world. In 1960, what is the world like? And in particular, in America, they carve it up. The western side belonged to Japan. The eastern side belongs to the Germans. And then what happens?
What happens? Crazy scenario. And you played General Yamori.
Yes.
There was several well-known actors there. What's his name? He was always there. I can't remember his name right now.
Describe him.
He's always in all the Japanese Japanese American movies. The what's his face? What is his face? He's
Kerry Togawa.
Kerry Togawa.
Yeah.
He was in that. God, he's in everything. And then Tamlin Tomita was also in it, right?
Yeah.
Tamlin
Yeah.
Tomita.
We had a scene together at the funeral scene.
Okay.
Yeah. Tamlin is such a welcoming actress.
I can't wait to interview her. I hope
that's going to be special
to be on this show. She is a sweetheart. I've known her for years.
Super intelligent, super talented.
Yes. So how was that experience similar to what you experienced before in an episodic were you on there for a while or
yeah I think 5.5 months.
Okay.
I mean I don't mean to be jaded, but other than budget, it's all the same. You go on the set, you do the scene.
Yeah.
It was pretty impressive because our first episode was 15 million, which was I think the second highest budget behind Game of Thrones or something like that, and then it went down to 11 million an episode, which is crazy expensive for television.
Yeah.
Now I remember we shot the first part in San Francisco at the Palace of Fine Arts, which was amazing. We had 450 extras at the funeral scene.
Whoa.
And that was very impressive. I was and it's all in period costume. There's whole armies, battalions of extras dressed in period costume.
Yeah.
And that was very impressive. And then we took some time off, then went to Vancouver, BC. And the producer, the showrunner, knocks on my door. He goes, "Hey, I want to show you your office." And I'm in work mode, right? Because I have to deliver some Japanese dialogue. You interviewed Mayumi Yoshida, and
Miami. Oh, well, we interviewed Arnold.
Oh,
Arnold.
I thought I saw it on the YOLK.
Oh,
maybe Sommer did.
Maybe Sommer did. Yeah, I think maybe Sommer did.
Anyway,
yeah,
she's a Japanese native, so she speaks fluent Japanese.
Okay.
And the actor that played the Admiral, is also Ejiro, is also a Japanese, national. So I'm intimidated.
Yeah.
I've got to have an argument with these people in Japanese.
Yeah.
And so I'm in, full concentration mode, and the producer goes, "Hey, come with me to the set." I said, "I got it." He goes, "No, come with me." I said, "Don't worry, I'll make my office my own. I got it." He goes, No, I want to show it to you." I'm like, "Okay." So we walk in, and there's this great office. And I go, "Well, this is amazing." He goes, "This isn't your office. This is your outer office.
Oh.
This is your support staff." I'm like, "Really? This is pretty nice." He goes, "Yeah, you have communications, you have maps, you have blah, blah." So he opens these shoji screens. They're like 12 feet tall. He goes, "You grab the other side." We open them up, and there's this expansive hall. And he goes, "This is your office."
Oh.
And it had samurai statues, and then it had 2 9-foot bronze statues with guys with swords flanking my desk.
Yeah.
And it was just an amazing thing. And I said, "Holy crap!" He goes, "This is your office."
Wow.
We spent like $1.5 million on it. And I said,
Wow.
"So I'm never leaving this office." You gotta get your money's worth. But so yeah, I mean, I was pretty impressed with that kind of stuff. And the other differentiation between a show is not just a show, is first class writing, first class acting.
Yeah.
So everybody brought it.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I started to get a little disappointed because some of the accents were all over the place. In fact, I did audition for that show.
For what?
The Men in High Castle?
No, for what role?
Oh, for a very small role. Very small role.
Which role? Tell me.
No, I don't. I don't even know. But when I auditioned, and I've done Japanese accents before, and I actually did a play as a Japanese national. So I had some coaching before, and then when I went in, there was also a bunch of Japanese nationals auditioning, and then when I watched the show, I was like, "Oh my God, there's a bunch of non-Japanese doing this, and their accents were all over."
I agree with you. That was a point of contention with many. And I'm not going to say with who, other than the audience, but yeah. Even the Japanese dialogue, I worked with Ejiro Osaki,
Mm.
who was the main. He was the main actor that I would always go up against.
Mm.
And I think he's from Tokyo, but to his credit, he said he lives close to me in LA. So he said, I'm going to come over to your house and we're going to work on this.
Mm.
And so we worked for a week, 4 hours a day for 6 days, and ran this dialogue. And we ran through phrases, we ran through phrasing, intonation. And he said, if I don't understand you, I'm just waiting for you to stop.
Oh.
If you say these certain lines, it will piss me off.
Huh.
But if I'm just waiting for you to stop, I'm just trying to, okay, it's time to be mad at you. So that was our intention, was, can you actually understand me?
Huh.
So I worked hard on that. And I've done a lot of Japanese accents for a lot of projects.
No, I've heard you, and your accent is good. Your accent.
The problem is because I love Yakuza movies.
Yeah.
It tends to come out. I always err on the gruff side.
Sure.
I'm like, hey, he's not, he's not trying to kill someone.
Right.
I'm like, but he should be. I'm like, but he should be.
There's a Yakuza accent, yes. Yeah, so,
But I agree with you. There's some, I think, and they had a dialect department. I think some people dropped the ball.
When you, so I know you do these Nickelodeon series, these voices. You do a Mr. Nakamura. Do you have an accent when you do Mr. Nakamura?
Sort of an idiot accent, but not an ethnic accent.
Okay, not an ethnic.
See, his dog Nelson, Mr. Nakamura on the Casa Grandes in the Loud House, is a guy with no power, and his dog Nelson runs the show.
Okay.
So
there's no reason to be Mr. Nakamura. You're just the voice who happens to be Mr. Nakamura.
Well, I was the biggest idiot. That's why they hired me.
Okay.
And we were shooting a lot of that while I was doing the Man in the High Castle. So I'm playing the general in charge of 300,000 troops and the entire occupation on one hand, and then this other guy who lives in an apartment and his dog is in control. So I'd go back and forth between LA and Vancouver. And it was really funny because the production people would go, "Oh, now you're back to Mr. Nakamura."
Hey, so you did some live theater in Portland, Snow Falling on Cedars.
Yeah.
How long did that go on for?
I think it was a 6-week run.
Okay, typical.
We were within the normal run. They wanted to extend it, but it would have thrown all of the other plays out of kilter because we were arguably their most successful production. We sold out every performance.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think in Snow Falling on Cedars, the typical accent was sort of a pigeon.
Because it's Japanese American.
Right.
But my character was American.
Okay.
And that was interesting because we had a dialect coach and we went round and round on which characters had what kind of accent.
Huh.
And I had to sit in on all the meetings, even though I was born in America. So I was there, kind of caused trouble during the meetings.
Sure.
I'm like, what am I doing here? So I would say snarky things.
Oh.
And the actress that played Hatsue, the lead, I'm still friends with. And this last week, she stayed at our house in Portland with my wife and me. And we were reminiscing about this, about the accents. And it was interesting you brought that up.
Okay. The author of the book was actually a next door neighbor, my brother, up in the University of
David Gutterson.
Yeah, up in the University District in Seattle. So
wow. Okay.
Pretty.
So it was interesting because he came to our opening night, and at the opening night function afterwards, he was talking to me about it, and I'm like, man, this guy knows a lot about it. He was very well read about our play.
Right.
And he asked me some things, and I answered, and he said, I love this, I love that, I love what you did here. He said, why didn't you do the movie? And I said, I read for it. I didn't get it. And he kind of looked at me and goes, And I said, I'm Bruce Locke, by the way. And he said, I wrote the book.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, did I say anything? I should have had him sign my book.
Yeah, really. So I was going to ask this. I don't know. But golf, going back to golf, What do you get out of golf?
You know, you and everybody's wife and girlfriend always ask that. Why do grown men play golf?
Yeah.
Golf is a sport.
Yeah.
And you can play it and not be in the best physical shape. So it is a sport. It is what I call physical chess. It's like poker, only there's a physicality to it. There's risk and reward on every shot. Now you can make it physical and be a huge hitter like the guys you see on TV, or you can be strategic and be just a surgeon or a card player. So it's physical golf. How much risk do you want to take with your physicality to do this shot that's impossible, or play it safe? And it kind of takes the place of chess or poker, but there's a physicality involved.
Okay. Also social.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because you can smoke a cigar and drink a beer while you're playing. What other sport can you do that?
Not many.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially drink a beer.
Yeah.
So, I find like, every once in a while I got to go downstairs in the garage and hit the heavy bag for about 30 minutes, and it kind of realigns me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And there's a focus. You talked about martial arts and a sense of being in the zone or being aware. Sports does that.
Okay.
Hitting the bag does that for you. It's like Zen. You're putting yourself in a space where your mind is totally clear, and things can come to you, or the bad things can go away, even though you're heavily exerting yourself. Golf can be like that because it's like the Japanese archery. There's a process. Are you necessarily aiming? Are you clearing your mind? There's a physicality to drawing the bow and aiming and releasing it on the right breath. It is Zen because there's a certain amount of the same aspect in golf. And when you get to a point of playing that well, it's very satisfying. It's very Zen-like.
Did you learn it from your father?
No, we lived across the street from a golf course. I went to work there picking up range balls when I was 9.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that when I was like walking home from Asa Mercer High School, junior high school. We'd find balls along the thing.
But my job, I was actually working.
Oh, okay.
I'd go outside the driving range and pick up balls. And in turn, they would let me play for free, and they would feed me lunch.
Oh, cool.
And all the kids that lived in the neighborhood, we took lessons from the same pro. And you know what? Some of them ended up being pro golfers.
Oh, wow.
So, he was a great teacher.
Huh. That's so cool. And then, so you went on, okay, this is going to be in line with the whole books and writing part, but you went on to join the celebrity golf circuit.
Right, yeah.
Right. So I'm going to get into the whole books and writing part of aspect of your life, right? So you wrote this book called "Who the Hell Are You?" A minor celebrity. What was it?
The celebrity golf circuit and the shenanigans that go on.
Now, why did you title it that book? That title
kind of encompasses everything what it's about. It's like, who are you? And then when I tell people, they're like, oh yeah, because I don't play people that I seem to represent physically. You kind of have to look at me and go, yeah, oh, you were the general. Oh shit. Or oh, you were Shang Tsung. Unless you're a hardcore fan of that show, I'm always somebody that people think they know. So who the hell are you? So I started raising money all over the country in these organizations, playing in these celebrity tournaments. And that's always who the hell are you? And now I'm with all these people who are actually really famous, and they kind of fold me into their group because they know who I am. And so it's like, hey, after this, let's go have a drink. Let's go do this. And so I got to interface as one of them with these very famous people, and they let their guard down. And I kind of told 70% of what I can tell without throwing anybody under the bus of, hanging out with guys like Aaron Rodgers or, people like that.
Do you still do the circuit?
Not so much anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd play in a few.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Well, you had a big friendship with Maurice Lucas.
Yeah, he was a very good family friend.
Family friend.
He was a trailblazer for Portland. and he was on their only championship team.
Mm.
He was friends with my father when he first came to Portland, and as a businessman, they became friends, and my dad would advise him. And then one year, my dad said, "Hey, my son got into showbiz, and Maurice got traded to the Lakers." And so I would go see the Lakers play, and Maurice would get me into the Forum Club, which was their private club bar.
Yeah.
You know, Jerry Buss would hang out there and all the celebrities. And you had to know someone to get in. Well, I knew Maurice.
Wow.
So after the game, he would come and we'd talk about the game. And he would say, "What's going on in showbiz?" And I said, "Oh, I'm trying to do this, trying to do that." And he would tell me, "Well, save your money, young man." And after I did RoboCop, he called me one day and he said, "Hey, help me raise some money. And I have this celebrity golf tournament." And that started it all.
That's so cool. So first of all, your book was ranked, you said fourth today, fourth in sports humor or something like that.
When I released it on Amazon, it got to number 4 on Amazon Sports Humor list.
Okay.
But wait. You guys need to know that it wouldn't have been there if not for Larry Tazuma.
Oh, no, not true.
He was the editor, and he went through and he said, "Hey, you know, your spelling's bad here, your grammar's bad here." And that was Larry. So he cleaned it up.
No, I just helped clean it up. But if it wasn't for your great stories, because I read your stories. They're fantastic stories.
It's really a step inside the ropes of a civilian being able to hang out with these famous people, and
right.
And a lot of them have such a great sense of humor, and it's fun to see that side of them.
I mean, I really appreciate it, because otherwise there's no way for a person like me to even see something like that, unless I paid for it, right? Unless I went in and paid $1,500 or something to play a foursome.
But you're not going to see that side of him. You're going to see like, I'll give you an example. Vida Blue, the great pitcher for the A's, I think. He is so good with people. He's like, "How are you, Larry? I heard you're, this and that, and great to play with you guys." And then when you get him all alone, we're all having a beer. That guy is he can swear, and he's really witty. But you don't see that when he's in the public persona stuff.
Oh, sure.
Or like, there's a new documentary on Aaron Rodgers, and I watched the first 5 minutes. I said, "That's not the Aaron I know."
Oh.
I mean, he's come under there's a lot of things that have happened over the years.
Yeah.
But the Aaron I know was silly, intelligent, and you don't ever see that side of it.
Right. So you also, there's other literary things you've done. You did the audiobook for Haruki Murakami, The Colorless Tsukuru Tazaki.
Oh, right.
How did that go, and have you read any other audiobooks?
That's hard.
Reading audiobooks.
Listening to them is easy.
Okay.
If you guys drive and you listen to audiobook, those are great. Well, the people that do those, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got approached to do that, and I said, "Yeah, I've never done that. I'll do it." You go into a studio and you read for hours at a time. I think our sessions were 4.5 hours at a time, and it's difficult.
Did you read with an accent?
I did, and we got a lot of flack for that.
Okay.
And we went round and round on, should I read with an accent or without one?
Yeah.
And in the end, I said, "You're the director. You ask Mr. Murakami what he's comfortable with." And I said, and the other publishers, I think it was Penguin. I said, I'll give you a sample paragraph of each, and you guys decide. And they said, "Do it with an accent." And we got some flack for that, but it got to number 1 on the New York best time sellers list.
Do you find it more interesting to act with an accent?
That's a loaded question. That's a good question, because the only reason why I will say yes, there's 2 reasons. One is it's very far away from who I really am, because I only speak English.
Yeah.
I'm from the Northwest. I'm 5th generation. Our family came here in 1835. So I find it really fascinating to jump into the skin of somebody from another country.
Right.
The other answer is, I don't get these types of roles with depth as an American speaker. So if I'm going to play that role, they're always saying, "Well, you're from here, you're from there, but not you're from Portland.
Yeah.
So I get better roles. But I just did a film, and I'm playing the second lead, and it's no accent, and it's a great range, and it's just a guy who happens to be Chinese. So if I got those types of roles, I would say there's no difference. But the most dramatic roles I got to play were guys from other countries.
So rarely do I do an audition for the same role as you.
Well, we're the same type, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Really physical, or tall, or good looking.
No, I'm not tall. You are. But and I definitely don't think I've ever gotten a role that we were competing for. But I know that there was a couple of times where I was in a line for a commercial for the same.
I probably didn't get it either.
No, we both. I don't think we both didn't. That's another story I want to talk about. But this one particular, this was for Impulse. This is for a web series, and
that's interesting.
Now I saw your performance. I thought
there's no accent in that one.
No, there was.
Really?
I thought I kicked ass on that audition. I seriously thought I was going to get a call back. I never got a call back. And then I saw your performance. And you did actually have you didn't have an Asian accent. You had some. It was like a Sean Connery kind of.
Oh, okay. It wasn't an ethnic accent.
It was like a Finnish or something.
No, it was just no. It just came out that way.
Yeah,
but
you did something.
I don't know what I did. He played okay. So you guys know what we're talking about. Impulse was a ancillary story to Jumper, Hayden Christensen, where he could move from spaces in an instant. And Doug Lyman created it, and the lead was a young lady who had these powers. And I played this billionaire who wanted to consolidate the people who could do this. And you don't know whether he's a good guy or bad guy. And to their credit, they did not ask me to do an accent.
No.
They said, just play him rich and powerful. So, but what was interesting was, I guess I could say it now. It wasn't a web series. It was a YouTube Premium series.
Oh, okay.
And so, but I used that very statement to get a better price.
Oh, okay.
Because when they came in, they said, "We want Bruce, and we're gonna lowball him, but let's just do the dance." And so my response was, "I'm not doing a web series." He said, "It's not a web series. It's YouTube Premium. It's Doug Lyman.
Oh,
it's big budget."
Yeah.
And so then they threw another number. I said, "I'm still not doing a web series." And I knew what it was. I looked it up.
Yeah.
He kept saying it's not a web series. So we finally got him to a decent salary. I said, "I'm in."
Okay.
So I got to go to Toronto for a back and forth for 3.5 months. And that was great.
Well, anyway, I thought your performance was great. I thought more people should have seen it.
It was wonderful, and it was a pretty big budget show, but I don't know how big of audiences YouTube Premium got.
I don't think that many.
And I wonder if they could have moved that show to another platform.
Yeah, definitely. At least they could have sold it to some, like a Netflix or something like that.
Yeah. Like what they did with Suits, and other shows.
Right.
So I played 3 different ages. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Go reading for it?
No,
I didn't either.
Yeah.
So when I went in, we were doing makeup tests. I'm like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And we're making you an 80. I'm like, "Really?" And then they dyed my hair and they said, "We're making you 40." I'm like, "You guys don't know what you're doing?"
So I want to talk about this one. So I was in line with you at I think it was even a callback, but it was like a cattle call. This is in West LA. And we were in line for a good 45 minutes. It was ridiculous. And so we got in this conversation about booking ratios. I don't know if you remember this conversation.
I don't remember it.
So we talked about booking ratios, and it opened up my eyes, because at the time I was doing about what seemed like 45 auditions in a month, and booking maybe three of those 45 auditions. And I was like,
I've never had 45 in a month.
Yeah, I'm like driving all over town, going to these auditions. You know,
Larry, you're a better agent than
no. I was doing print auditions. I was doing commercial auditions. You name it. I was just driving around, just like a madman, going on these auditions and not booking any of them. Just maybe 3 of them. And then years later on, with a different agent, I would go out on maybe 9 auditions in a month or so, and booking the same amount. And I'm like, oh, booking ratio. 3 out of 9 versus 3 out of 45. That's what he's talking about. You know?
I don't remember. What was my point?
The point was, you got to think about your booking ratio. You're just wasting time if you're going out on 45 auditions and only booking 3.
I don't know. I don't remember that, because I don't know if I agree with that. It's like, kind of like in the beginning, you got to get out and knock on every door. Even if you're not right for it, just show them.
Okay.
So I don't know if I agree with that, or maybe my point was different, or maybe my point changed.
Maybe your point changed, because I think at the time I understood it was that I was going out on the wrong kind of auditions. Like my agent was just sending me out on everything.
Okay, but I do know my most important acting teacher. He said, "I'm not teaching bit players. I don't want you guys doing co-star delivering pizzas." He goes, "When you do a show, I want to know you did a real scene. You don't have to be the star of it, but don't get into this business to do throwaway parts." So he said, if you go out for that, don't go, because it's not worth it. It's not worth your time. Because I'm teaching you guys to be actors, so act.
That's nice.
But it's hard if you don't, if you're not going out, because they're saying, well, you don't want to read for this small role? You don't want to build your resume?
Well, anyway, going back to the thing about accents, I think American audiences, they do like accents. They like British accents. They like, black street accents. They like accents. They don't like American accents.
That's an interesting discussion in itself. I think your job as an actor is to take what's on the page and make it interesting. And sometimes the people who are foreign to us bring a bit of intrigue. So, yeah, you're right.
I have 2 more questions for you. One, I just want to thank you. You invited me to go watch the anniversary screening of Enter the Dragon at the Warner Brothers lot. I thought that was really special.
Wasn't that cool?
I never get invited to these things, so I'm like, how come I don't get invited to these things? Bruce
and we got the
DVD,
Blu-ray,
40th
anniversary, and we got Shannon. We got to meet Shannon Lee, which I had met before, but it was great.
That was my first time. We interviewed her for this podcast. That was
special,
so cool.
Wasn't it?
That was very special. Yeah, it was a panel, just a panel, and it was fun. That was a really fun thing.
Those are some of the perks.
Yeah, of being a celebrity.
Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, got the Enter the Dragon Blu-ray.
So, I told you I was going to mention Musashi.
I see that book in your library, which I have also.
Okay. Now I watched one of the interviews, and you mentioned that your brother had a talk with you prior to you moving down here, right? And getting in the industry.
Yeah, which talk?
This talk about you, I don't know, being a nicer person.
Oh, that talk.
Yes. Before getting in the acting business.
Yes.
And then also that many people mentioned you have a chip on your shoulder.
Yes.
Has that chip...
Well, Dr. Larry, continue. Go ahead.
Has that chip, after these many years in the business, has that chip been removed? Has it been softened?
It's softened.
Yeah.
So the chip Larry's talking about is, I've always been in a world where they say you can't, either because of who you are inherently or your race. And I was a tennis player, and I was all white. A lot of racism. Getting into show business. Who are my role models? Who was actually working when I came into the business? So a lot of racism, a lot of people outside of show business saying you can't. So my whole life was filled with you can't. So I had this chip on my shoulder for whatever that means.
Mm.
And in some respects, it made me a lot tougher. In other respects, it made me not as accessible, except to my inner circle. So yeah, over time, like I made a living and I'm kind of over it. So I'm not as chippy as I used to be.
Yeah. Again, talking about Musashi. Musashi, I like to bring up Musashi a lot in my either these podcasts or in conversations. I mean, Musashi, he talked about when he was younger, he had a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he was angry.
Yeah.
And there was this a Zen Buddhist priest named Tapuan Soho who tied him up in a tree for a long time, and just he was angry, and he basically he somehow got the wild out of him and tamed him. And after that, he became. He was a great swordsman, but he became sort of a learned man. He studied tea, he studied art, poetry, sculpture. He said this. He said, when you become a master of one thing, you master the 10,000 things, which means you master everything.
Right. Or you have the ability to master everything.
Yeah, but he basically says you have to master one thing.
Yeah.
And so I always think about that. What have I mastered? Have I mastered anything in my life?
We all ask that question.
Yeah. It's a constant question.
Yeah.
Have I mastered anything? Or have I just been am I just sort of a fool?
But be careful when you read a book by someone or about someone of Musashi's level. We are normal people.
Sure.
I'm an actor, but I'm a normal person. I didn't win an Oscar. I didn't, I'm just a guy. So when we read things by people who have reached the top levels, be careful not to compare yourself to them.
Well, I would never compare myself to a Musashi.
But I mean, even to say, what have I mastered?
Yeah.
Then you let yourself down.
True.
What you've mastered is you have a beautiful family. You've provided for them. You're healthy. That's something to be said in this world today. You don't owe anybody. You don't, your daughter, I haven't seen her in a long time. She's healthy. She's wonderful. She's intelligent. So to me, did Musashi ever do that? No. The guy never took a bath. One of the things Musashi was known for is he really did smell. I mean, as much as his books are in the our national treasures, but you know what? He never took a bath. He didn't have a family. So look at what you did. He couldn't do.
This is true. I did learn something though after reading that particular book, that huge thick book. Was I was in a situation, a freelance job, and the boss lady, who's Japanese, she and the project manager pulled me into their office and said, Larry, the boss lady would like to see you. And thought I was in trouble. Sat me down, closed the door, and said, yeah, so we noticed that you've been putting your overtime hours on, when we want you to stay a little longer. And we would like you to, when days are not so busy, we would like you to take those overtime hours and put them on these days instead of putting them on the days we need you to stay. And I didn't get angry. I didn't shout. So I said, oh, I understand. Well, my suggestion is that you call my office and you ask them if there is someone at my office who is willing to do that, because I am not. And then
Bravo.
Both of them were like, no, it's fine. It's totally fine. We want you to stay. And I said, okay, thank you very much. And I left.
Bravo.
And I didn't have to raise my voice. I didn't have to get upset. And I gave them an out. Like, they could fire me.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, I just Musashi'd them.
Yeah. Yeah, bravo. And that's kind of where I'm at now in our business is we talk with the director. I go, what do you want? He goes, what do you want with respect to the scene? And if there's something I don't agree with, I'll go, no. And you go, well, and it's like there's no anger. It's like, no, it doesn't work. I go, let me show you. Let's turn on the camera. Let's try one. I'll show you. There's no emotion involved in it. It's just no, that doesn't work. There's no argument.
Yeah.
Even when on Man in the High Castle,
Yeah.
camera pushes in, and I think that the line is something like, "Kill him," right? And the director goes, "I want it big."
Oh.
And when the camera pushes in, you don't yell because
Sure.
it looks silly.
Yeah.
And you can go really small, and the audience focuses on your eyes, how intense you are. So my first instincts is, really low and to myself, kill him. Because I want to see it big, and I knew that was the wrong choice, but I said, okay. So I went all out, just full out voice and full out. He kind of stops. And I go, whoa, before you say anything, let's look at it on the monitor. He goes, no. No. Let's look at it because this was your choice. We looked at it. It looks silly. And I go, what do you think? Is that the version you want to use? He goes, you made your point. And I go, no, I didn't have a point. I just wanted to look at the choice that you made. I just wanted to see it myself. And he goes, Bruce, just do your first choice. I go, you got it, partner.
Oh man, who I really liked watching was Anna Sawai in Shogun.
I hate to admit it, I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. You get a chance, Hulu. I mean, you gotta check out Hulu. I think she acts with her eyes, and it's different from a lot of the actors that you normally see. I think she's of a different generation.
But you're bringing up something really interesting. One is her craft, and two, you have to know how to do that with respect to what medium you're at, what lens they're on, how close is the lens, how close is the camera to you, in other words. If it's too far away, it's lost.
Yeah.
And so that's part of the craft of acting. And that's one thing about Impulse that we talked about, that we auditioned for, is the audition scene is a fairly benign talking scene. But there's some nuggets in there where it's a little beyond talking. It's the character showing that he has power and that he has compassion and that he's trying to connect himself with the kid beyond just talking. And so there were moments in there where I felt, for me to differentiate myself, those are the moments of the scene.
I wish I knew when 20 years ago. No.
It's not too late. I mean, if you want to get into acting, I'll help you.
I don't know. Maybe after my daughter goes to college, I'll start trying again.
Yeah, as long as you can remember the lines.
That's the hardest part.
Oh yeah, me too.
Bruce, hey man, thank you very
Larry.
much for being on the
Awesome
show. It's great to
here.
see you. This is a long time coming. I always wanted to have you be in the YOLK magazine, which I don't know why I never interviewed you for YOLK magazine. That was
because we're too busy always going out hanging out.
I know.
It never came up. I used to hang out with this guy a lot. Congratulations that YOLK is still relevant.
Still somewhat relevant, yeah.
And you guys are in a museum in New York.
Yeah.
Tells you how old you are.
I'm super old. Yeah.
You're in a museum.
I got the gray hairs. Yeah. And actually, I kind of dyed my hair a little bit. So
I've done it for projects. They'll make me more gray or less gray.
There you go. So this has been the OG YOLK Generation Next podcast. We will see you next time.
Thank you.
Hi, Bruce. I didn't get a chance to be in the interview with you and Larry at the time, but I'm so happy that you took the time out for the 10 questions that I give to all the guests. Thank you very much, Mr. Locke.
My pleasure.
Does anybody ever call you Lockie because of the E?
Yeah. Mostly white people.
they go Bruce Lockie, and I just go yes. I answer to many things.
Oh, that's very flexible of you. So such a minority thing to do, but like we always have to adapt and assimilate. So did Larry ask you about your last name already? Why your last name?
No.
Larry. Okay, so why is your last name like that?
Uh, Locke is actually a real Chinese name, but ours was is actually, depending on what dialect, it's Yin, Ing, or Ngan. And the Chinese pronounce last name first, first name last. So probably 130 years ago, a white person took the first name, last name, mixed it up, and it's just Ngan is so hard for Caucasians to pronounce. So it was our ancestor's name was like uh, Ngan Sai Locke, and
Oh
Ngan
man,
is the family name.
you sound like a
So
superhero.
So they said, "Is your last name Locke?" And he just said, "Well, screw it. Yeah, our last name is Locke." So that just stuck.
So it's not actually even spelled that way, right?
No,
Uh,
no. And we're not sure whose first name that actually was.
mhm.
But I mean, we have, like I said, Ing, um, Nan, Yin, Fong in our family. So, I mean, we go back so many generations in America, it gets kind of convoluted.
Wow. Do you know anybody, do you have a friend whose name is um uh FOK? You know,
Ha!
you have one of them. I have two friends that with that name, and I get embarrassed every time somebody says, "Oh, who's your friend?" And I have to say his last name too, and I'm like, yeah, I feel bad.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of colorful plays on that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I've used on the golf course, but I'm not going to go into it here.
yeah. They should be anybody with that name should be famous just for that already. So the 10 questions, I forgot. One other thing. Did Larry, not to pick on Larry, because he's a really
Let's
good.
pick on Larry because he's all the way in Korea.
Oh yeah, he's vacationing for his 60th birthday. And I always tell people where he is, and I'm like, oh shoot, maybe like you want to not tell people where they are because they're home for the protection of their home, you
Oh
know?
yeah, let's rob his house.
Oh my God. That's funny. Well, I want to ask you, because you're a male actor and I saw your work, and it seems like Hawaii Five-O is the Law and Order for Asian actors to me, because all of them go through that show before they get out and get bigger. So when you get up, and if you don't have a makeup person, how do you do your skincare? Because did you guys do
Oh
that?
boy,
Because
you
you guys,
touched on an interesting topic because I'm one of those guys that I'll go into the makeup trailer and we'll talk about regimens, whether it's hair or skincare and things like that. And my wife gets on me for this because I don't worry about any of that. I cut my own hair. I use a bar of ivory soap,
oh my God.
and I don't care about those things. I mean, I'm not the leading man, get the girl guy. Who cares? You just try to be a good actor, and I mean, of course, you care about your health, but it doesn't make any difference. Sometimes they want me with long hair, short hair. You know, I'm not the cool guy, so it doesn't really matter if I have a great haircut or.
It's not, well, the fact that you've kept yourself, I watched your all and your demo reel, which is smart because you keep
Oh,
it even because it's for people like me who like to look at range. So you show range.
I
And
try so that way I can maybe get another job.
yeah, yeah. So you won't be too typical of an actor to cast. But it's kind of funny that you have all these different hairdos and all that, but your skin virtually is similar. You just have a few wrinkles, but you look actually better than you did when you were younger. So
Ha!
yeah,
Summer, you crack me up.
no,
Thank you.
I think your wife should be happy that at least you like, I don't know how you, because you don't do any skincare routine, I can't really ask you how to like God, what did I do it? I had a blush, and they make it like children proof or adult proof, where I tried to open it up, I couldn't open it. I had to use another blush because it's Laura Geller skincare, which in blush. Anyways, I'm talking.
Wait, I do have one serious thing though. My doctor did say wear sunblock,
Mm,
especially being Asian and dark skinned.
mhm.
We are more prone to get those age spots because of the sun. And I play a lot of golf and tennis. So he
Mm.
said, I know you're just an Ivory Soap guy and you don't really care about all this stuff, but wear sunblock. I said, okay,
That's good. I
yeah.
can't get my husband to wear sunblock. He's
I know it's all greasy and gets all over your clothes.
oh my gosh. Like, anyways, yeah, thank you for giving me only one thing about your skincare. That's awesome. Like, but you are a working actor, which is really good. Being a working actor is harder than being a lead actor, to be sure.
Yeah, because I have to prove it every time to get the job because this what you're seeing now, this is me and
Mhm.
it's not very theatrical. It's like, would you put this guy in your show? Because he just looks like he could be the lawyer or the engineer or the guy I work with at the bank.
Mhm.
So I have to transform through acting into the character like you saw in the demo reel. I have to become those guys. So I'm not known for anything in particular because I have to turn into those guys. Although some of the casting people, it's an uphill battle because if I do this particular role for them, they say, well, that's what Bruce does. You know,
Mm.
he
Mm.
does like mafia guys, you know, or he's,
Wow.
you know, he does this, he does, you know, this type of show. So they don't see me and as other roles. So maybe they haven't looked at my demo.
And you and you do the shorts to give yourself some exercise, right? How do I say it? Let me see.
The what?
The exercise, the shorts. I noticed you do shorts, which is smart because some people have to do to give yourself the lead opportunities or
What do
even
you mean
supporting.
short? What do you mean
Oh,
short?
it says that you are Captain Kendricks and Solace, a short film.
Oh, that's actually a full feature film.
Oh, really?
But yeah, but it's interesting. These friends of mine got together to make a film, and some of them, the friends were very well acclaimed. Adrian Carr is a famous editor. He did A movies, and he was the director. And Ross Berryman, the cinematographer, he's done A movies. And the two fellows that wrote it wanted to create this science fiction movie, and it was full length feature. And I said, yeah, I'll help in any way I can. So they haven't quite found a platform for it, but it's full length feature. So it could be a television pilot, it could be
Hmm.
a short film.
Hmm.
So it was I don't know how it was classified as that,
It
but
sounds like a sci-fi, right?
it is sci-fi, and
Oh man, that's so much
it's very
work.
well done, and I'm
Oh, I can't
surprised they
wait.
haven't got a better audience. So,
Uh-huh.
Solus, check it out. I think it's online, and it's very well done on a very low budget, and it's full length. But I've only done a few shorts. It's interesting because I I would like to do more independent things like that, 15, 20-minute shorts, 5 minutes, or small indies. And most of my work is studio or network.
Mm.
And these people, emerging filmmakers, are people that do those indies. They don't know me, or they think that I'm not accessible because most of my stuff is studio, you know, NBC, ABC, CBS, Universal, MGM, Disney. And so they're thinking, well, he's not accessible. He wouldn't do this. And I absolutely would, but I don't know these people. I don't know that world, and they don't know my world. But I mean, I'm easy to contact. Just my contact stuff is on IMDb. But I would do more.
Um, and you were also on Squid Game, which is
Oh,
Korean.
yeah. Yeah.
Korean.
Well, I wasn't on it. I just did the English voice replacement for Captain
Oh,
Carr.
that's it. I see. So how's the voice acting for that? Like, is that is that for you? You do it not just for the money, but also for like the fact that you were part of a major show. I know you're not.
Well, it's interesting because I didn't see Squid Games, and we audition for things often,
Huh?
and they use code names.
Uh,
So you audition, and they offer you the job, and then at that point you say, "Well, what is it?" And then like this one, I got the job and they said it's actually Squid Games. And I said, okay. And they wanted to know my reaction. And I said, well, I hadn't seen it.
Oh my God.
and so they said, well, this is what the show is about. And I said, well, great. Okay, we might as well just dive in. And so I did the role of replacing Captain Park, who was the boat captain on season 2. And, we would look at his voice and they would play my audition. And I said, I think he should be a little more this and that. And so we'd kind of spend maybe hour to find that voice. And the hard part about these things is matching the lip flap so that the dubbing looks credible. And also every country, not every, but many countries, they have different styles of acting. And so we have to be true to what they're doing, but try to give a good performance.
Yeah. And that's kind of crazy because you have to match it. I think the I guess you call it, at least they find the Asian people to do the voiceover instead of like finding a
and that's come about the last 15 or 20 years. That's actually how I got into voiceover, because I've done so much. I've done animation, video games, narration for commercials or movies or documentaries. My commercial agent back a long time ago called me one day and said, would you consider doing voiceover? And I said, tell me about it. And they said, well, now they don't want they want Asians to do Asian voices. They want blacks to do black voices, and they don't want white people to do that anymore. So it's a very closed industry, but because you are already in it, the door is open for you. Do you want to step through it? So I said, sure, I'll try. And it took a few years to get up to speed because voiceover it's similar, but very different.
It's, and you can do it like you go to the studio. You can't do it at home, right? Remotely. Well,
now you can do it at home. So really? During COVID, I was very thankful because I was on a Nickelodeon show called Casa Grandes, which was a spinoff from Loud House.
Yeah.
And they sent me a recording package so I could record in my home. So those guys, Nickelodeon, I'm very thankful to them. They kept me alive during COVID and kept me busy. And so I recorded at home.
I think it's like relative to what working actors should do. They shouldn't have an ego in terms of like making yourself known out there for different things. Man in the High Castle is one of my favorite shows. First season was a little better, but we did do an interview with Mayumi. She's amazing.
What a sweet, smart, talented lady she is.
Yeah, you better like say hello to her because she's directing a lot of.
Hi, Mayumi. Anything you need from me, let me know.
I know she's directing. She's a good director. I've already seen 2 of her short films. And Space Force, I'm a big fan of course. Because
wait, I have to talk about Mayumi for a sec.
Okay.
So I came on season 4 and she had been on for a while, and she was the Japanese language consultant as well. And so I had sort of a confrontational scene with kind of her. She's the crown princess, and Eijiro Ozaki, who played, I think, the admiral, and I was playing a general. And the confrontation scene was in Japanese. So Eijiro,
I saw you speak that way. Yeah,
it was very difficult because Eijiro is from, I believe, from Tokyo. Mayumi is a native Japanese speaker, and of course the consultant on the show. So I was pretty intimidated by the scene, and Eijiro, to his credit and his heart, he offered to come over to my place in LA for 2 weeks and help me with the Japanese pronunciation, and we ran lines. We probably worked 4 hours a day for 2 weeks to come up to speed.
My God.
And he said, Bruce, a lot of times when we do these things, we're just waiting for the other actor to stop talking because we can't understand them. So your character, General Yamori, is saying these inflammatory things to me. If I understand you, it will make me more angry. If I don't, and we don't work on this, then I'm just waiting for you to stop talking. And then I'm creating the, oh, I know he said something mean to me. I'll be angry back. So,
it's not as organic.
yeah. So, of course, I'm comfortable with him because we'd been working so long together. But then when we walked on the set, there's Mayumi, there's all her entourage, and there's a whole bunch of people, and they were all native speakers too. So now I'm pretty intimidated. And the crew, the director, and the producer actually asked me to run the scene in Japanese to see, is it credible? And I had to go through a lot of hurdles to get to filming. And to her credit and Eijiro, they helped me through that scene, even though we played adversaries.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I love that show because they were willing to. I know the authenticity of the role. Everyone wants to play the authenticity, but like if a Caucasian can play a cowboy and excuse me, an English person from Great Britain, then and you have I believe, I don't know if you said you had Japanese roots or something, in your ancestry, but if Asian people can play other Asian people, it appreciates everyone in a
But it's interesting that white Hollywood doesn't allow us. They will allow the Caucasian actor to play any European character that they feel that the actor can pull off, but they don't let the Asian actors do that. They will say, if you're Japanese, you can only play Japanese. If you're Chinese, you can only play Chinese, and etc. And I find that to be a double standard. That's horrible.
Unless they're desperate, because sometimes when they're desperate, they need the talent and the name, and they will go that route.
I think they were desperate in Man in the High Castle. So I got the role.
We interviewed Arnold Chen too, and he was speaking like 3 different languages. He can do, he can do all the accents.
Arnold's a great guy. He welcomed me to the show.
Yeah.
We started in San Francisco, and he came up and welcomed me the first day in the makeup trailer. Him and Tamlin Tomita, and David Sakurai, and Rich Ting. Everybody was so welcoming. But I came in very late in the casting process, so I think maybe they were thinking, well, maybe he fits the uniform. We'll just let him have it.
Well, at least I think I hope they remember you and then give you more opportunities.
Well, that's always the hope, that you do a good job in a role and the people you work with will hire you again. But my experience is you got to prove it every time.
Yeah, we don't, even me for casting, you always have to prove it no matter what. It doesn't matter unless you're Seraphin Haley or Hallie.
Yeah.
So let me see. Oh, sorry. Larry's gonna kill me. Okay, I'm gonna give you the questions, okay?
Okay.
Your favorite color?
Yellow.
Okay, great. That's what we are too. Right there, yolk. Coffee or boba?
Coffee.
And do you have a favorite one?
The one I'm drinking. No, I don't. No, I really enjoy a good cup of coffee, and I'm lucky to have friends that are coffee connoisseurs, and so they've introduced me to. I'm not a coffee snob at all. We use the Keurig and just throw the pot in. But I appreciate a great cup of coffee.
I know that Japan is famous for their coffee because they grow their own beans over there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
You should. Yeah, you should. I mean, my husband loves their coffee over there, like loves it, and he's not Asian.
Have you ever had the LOCKE coffee? The Civic, the cat eats the beans and poops it out, and they clean the beans and roast it. And it's the most expensive coffee in the world. Have you had that here?
No, I'll ask my husband. I don't drink coffee because I'm hyper, so I can't.
Gee, I would have never known, Sommer.
Yeah, I can't drink soda or coffee. This is all like weight stuff drink. Like I'm trying to just keep from the women crap that we have to deal with. Okay, dim sum or sushi?
Oh, I can't. No, that's 50-50.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Um, Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek. Original.
Me too, me too, me too. Yeah. Except for Rogue One. I love Rogue One. One of that one is one of my favorites.
Okay.
The original is probably for me is Return of the Jedi. It's my favorite. I know a lot of people don't like it. And the first one. And then Rogue One. Because they have so many diverse actors.
But they have so many spin-offs of Star Wars that
Yeah.
I think they've diluted the franchise.
Yeah, I hear you're disgruntled. But no, but Andor and Rogue One, freaking amazing. I can tell you haven't watched it yet, but they have the characters are so much more how do you say it in actor people? It's so much more detailed that it gives everybody a chance, even the Asian actors. I mean, I can't remember. God. Oh, Donnie Yen was in the Rogue One and all those cats. They were like,
I dubbed his voice in Hero. He
you
played,
did?
I think he played the character Sky or Rain.
Yeah,
And I dubbed his voice, but I know that Donnie spent a lot of time in the States and his English is perfect.
yeah.
And so I walked in, this is through Miramax,
Uh-huh.
I think. And I walked into the studio and I'm willing to lose the job. I said, Donnie's English is perfect. And they were like, really? I said, yeah, he can speak as clear as you and I. Why don't you have him do it? And they were shocked. So they made some phone calls and they couldn't get him in the time frame that they needed. So I said, well, I'm okay if you do that because he should actually do his own voice.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you watch the English version of Hero, it's my voice over Donnie, who speaks perfect English.
Oh my God, that's so. I never. That's so weird, but it's good because Donnie seems like he's sharing the wealth. Like,
Well, he didn't mean to because they didn't know he spoke perfect English.
copy. Book or song motivates you?
Say it again.
Book or song?
Book.
Okay. Which book have you read like that you love so far?
Well, I just finished one, but there's a history of American golf, which that's not what inspired
Oh my
me.
God,
I just
dude.
finished it last night. But the one I really love, and I believe it's timeless, is called Harpo Speaks. The Marx Brothers.
Marx Brothers, yes.
He was one of the brothers. He was very famous. He never spoke. He played the harp. And if you read his autobiography, it is inspiring. What a great guy. And every few years I will read it again. And it's a little known book, Harpo Speaks. It's a wonderful book.
It's a good title because he never talks.
Right.
Yeah.
And he fell into show business. I mean, it was a long time ago, early stages of showbiz. They got involved in vaudeville and he didn't know anything about show business. And the brothers were in doing the show and they said, you got to do this. I don't know what to do. And they said, well, just do this. And they literally threw him on stage, and by hook or by crook, he learned how to become a performer, and a very famous performer, an acclaimed performer, and was a super guy, never became jaded. And that's one thing that we have to fight is all the mean people, the mean things that happen in Hollywood to survive that. And that book was a testament of someone who did very well and survived that.
Oh, that sounds really interesting. Your first book sounded boring, but the Harpo Speaks. What did you say? Hook or crook? What did you say?
By hook or by crook. It's an old saying. It's you're going to make it happen no matter what. That's what that means.
Never heard of that before. That's pretty interesting.
It's an old American colloquialism.
Thank you. Streaming or movie theater?
Movie theater.
Did you watch one lately? Like anything in particular?
Yeah, I did. The Accountant too.
I know. I saw that too. I saw that too.
Okay, I was a little disappointed because Accountant 1 I really liked, and I think it was a step or two below.
But the chemistry, Ben Affleck and
great chemistry.
Yeah, with John Bernthal. Funny. So funny.
Yeah, I love John Bernthal. I mean, he's
oh man. He
Yeah,
rose from Walking Dead, like major. Him
he
and
was great in
Nguyen.
that role,
Yeah.
and just, I mean, his sense of humor, the way he approaches things, it's just, he's a tough guy, but he makes you laugh,
Mm-hmm.
And that one part of the trailer where he's talking to his brother, Ben Affleck's character, and he goes,
Yeah.
and okay, for those of you who haven't seen it, John Barenthal is a tough guy. He's a killer assassin, and he's telling his brother. His brother says, I've been trying to protect you all this time, and he's befuddled, and he says, a lot of people think I'm pretty dangerous too. I thought that
Yeah.
was I thought that
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Yeah. And, and then they like, oh, I killed that guy and killed that. It's just it's like an inadvertent competition to me to see them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's brother rivalry.
Yeah.
They love each other. They're frustrated with each other. They hate each other. But comes to shove, they've got each other's back in the gunfight, and it's a great premise. I just wish the second one would have lived up to the first.
Oh, they should do one for Asians, in another country. I
Oh
know.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they can just okay. Anyways, and then you say, "Hey, I'll do it. I'll play John Bernthal."
No, they would get Daniel Day Kim and Ronnie Chang,
Ronnie
or
Chang? That's funny. I haven't seen him in a drama, actually. He's
he
so
can
funny.
act.
I
That
love it.
sucker can act.
Oh,
So
good. I
yeah,
haven't seen him in a drama yet. Um, okay. This is music. So I don't know, I don't want to say that because you're as old as us, as old as Yoke. No, just kidding. So I don't know what kind of music. I'm not going to even pick out music. What music do you like then?
pretty eclectic. I like a lot of things, from jazz, hard rock, R&B, um, musicals, classical, country. I like a
Okay,
lot.
okay, you can stop. Yeah, yeah, you like a lot of things. I can hear
And
it.
I've been lucky. I've been lucky to meet people the artists that have made some of these iconic songs, and
God.
hang out with them.
Uh-huh.
Whether it's country western stars, or the guys that like Jeffrey Osborne from LTD, or I've got to hang out with these guys, or the guys from the Eagles, or
Wow,
it's
that's nice.
crazy when you're sitting there and they want to talk about
Other
Mortal
bands.
Kombat, or
Oh,
RoboCop or
right.
something, and I'm like, well, what about what about your song?
Yeah, yeah, you're part of the Mortal Kombat history. My husband loves that those movies. He loves it. Um, uh, and you guys have to do martial arts, which is like so crazy that
Yeah, and I'm not a
okay,
martial artist, so
yeah,
go figure.
yeah, and the Asians have to know martial arts, like they have to know their own language. Like
Yeah, yeah.
instant. Superpower. What would be your superpower?
I don't have one, and I don't want one. Um,
Huh, that's interesting. That's the
I
first, you're the first person
really,
to say that.
I just want to be a normal guy, and and have all the. I just want to be like everybody else.
Oh, wow. Um, Profound. Son or daughter? Oh, sorry. This is for somebody else.
Oh,
Mom or dad?
I'm a mama's boy.
Ah,
Yeah, my mom just passed a couple years ago. I miss her, and
bye. Yeah.
she's my world, and she's the one that said, "Yeah, go do this acting thing,
Uh,
and if it makes you happy, just be the best actor you can be."
well, she did carry you for 9 months or so.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, and
it's
and she just was so supportive of, she didn't really care what the show was. She would just go, "Oh yeah," and she wouldn't even watch it. She'd just say, "I'm glad you're working."
oh, well, yeah. I still have my parents. I'm lucky. So
Treasure them.
yeah, very lucky. Okay, last question is three things you would bring in a box if you had to escape a situation.
What's the situation? Define the situation.
Uh, so it could be like disaster, or like basically, uh, oh, it's a bad situation. It's never good if you have to escape it. That's for
Oh,
sure.
if the way you define it, it's easy. Guns, water, food.
In that order.
Yeah, because you can use guns to get water and food,
I like that.
and you can
Um,
live with water longer than you can without food.
oh my God. Can you shoot again?
Yeah, then you just squeeze the trigger, and
That's
the
not so
point,
easy.
the little opening, that's the dangerous end.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what they teach you on the set. Is like you point it and you squeeze the trigger.
yeah, I tried it with my father-in-law, who used to work in law enforcement, and last year, and I couldn't, or this year, I forgot when, but I couldn't. My hand, this finger can't reach the trigger. It was like a
They
no.
have smaller guns that are made for women that are perfect, but it really is education because there's a lot of misinformation about there about what they are, what they can be used for, and how they're actually used, the safety of it.
Mhm.
Um,
Self-defense. That's a big.
yes,
That's a big.
and what are the rules in engagement? How would you actually use it in self-defense? Because to actually be in a threatening situation, your mind goes out the door. So what really happens? So what do
It's
you
all
really do?
it's
You
all
know?
intuitive. If it's in a high stakes situation, it's intuitive.
Yeah, well, that's what training is for, and then you have an idea of what to do because what is your intuition? Some people will freeze, some people will run away, some people they shoot first, and maybe that's not the best idea.
Yeah.
So that's what training is for.
Well, uh, that's
That's a different discussion, though.
yeah,
Guns are
yeah.
a
We
completely
haven't
different discussion.
we haven't ventured into that, and I don't have the full knowledge of it, so I
And
can't.
neither do I.
Yeah.
I'm a guy that's been around a lot of people that know things and armorers on the set that run you through certain amounts of training every time you do a show like that. And I was in the military, so I have a little bit of knowledge, but I'm not an
Wow.
expert.
Oh, wow. Okay. Didn't see that in your little bio. Okay.
Oh, being in the military, you mean?
Yes.
Nobody ever saw me in the military. Even
Okay.
me.
I'm gonna take a shot of you, hot, not no pun intended, of us. I know that you got one of Larry. Thank you. And thank you so much. Nice, great, and amazing meeting you. And I look forward to hopefully working with you soon.
Me too, Summer. I hope to meet you in person.
Bye,
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Bruce. Hi guys. I wanted to say thank you to Bruce Locke. He was amazing, wonderful guest for Larry and I. And we want to thank also Team OG Yoke and specifically Larry Tazuma and our editors, Campbell Moon Jung and CJ Bautista, and for Zoom, we want to thank them. And I'm trying to think all our listeners.
Stay tuned for the next episode. Pop the yolk and spread the love. Yolk is back, back, back.